Every single day, you're throwing away fertilizer that professional gardeners pay hundreds of dollars for, while your neighbors are driving to garden centers and loading up their carts with expensive bags of nutrients. You're literally tossing the exact same thing into your trash bin. And the difference between using what you already have versus buying commercial fertilizers isn't just about saving money. It's about understanding that nature never wastes anything, and neither should you. Here are the 5 free fertilizers hiding in your kitchen right now that grow vegetables better than anything you can buy. Number 1, coffee grounds. Every morning, millions of people brew coffee and throw away pure nitrogen, the single most important nutrient plants need to grow. And coffee grounds aren't just good fertilizer. They're 2% nitrogen by weight, which means they're as powerful as many commercial fertilizers that cost $15 per bag. But here's what most people get wrong. You cannot use fresh coffee grounds directly on plants because the caffeine and acidity will burn tender roots and stunt growth. The secret is composting them first or mixing them with carbon-rich materials. Here's the right way. Collect used coffee grounds in a container. Let them dry completely for 2 to 3 days. Mix them with dried leaves, shredded cardboard, or straw at a ratio of 1 part coffee to 3 parts brown material. Then spread this mixture as mulch around your plants or work it into the top 2 inches of soil. And coffee grounds do something most fertilizers can't. They lower soil pH, making them perfect for acid-loving plants like tomatoes, blueberries, roses, and azaleas. 1 year of coffee ground from a single household provides enough nitrogen for a 100 square foot garden. That's $50 worth of fertilizer you're currently throwing away. Number 2, eggshells. Eggshells are 95% calcium carbonate, the exact same mineral you buy as garden lime, for $12 per bag. And calcium isn't just for building strong bones. It's essential for preventing blossom end rot, that black, rotting bottom that destroys tomatoes and peppers just when they should be ripening. But whole eggshells take years to break down in soil, which means your plants can't access the calcium when they need it. The secret is crushing them into a fine powder that releases nutrients immediately. Here's the process. Rinse eggshells thoroughly to remove any egg residue, because protein attracts pests. Dry them completely in the sun for a day or in a 150-degree oven for 10 minutes. Then crush them into a fine powder using a mortar and pestle, or pulse them in a coffee grinder you keep specifically for this purpose. Sprinkle this powder directly into planting holes when transplanting tomatoes, peppers, eggplant, and squash. Use about 1 tablespoon per plant mixed into the soil at root level. And unlike commercial calcium that washes away with rain, crushed eggshells release calcium slowly over the entire growing season. 12 eggshells provide enough calcium for 1 tomato plant for an entire season. If you eat 1 egg per day, you're throwing away $20 worth of calcium every year. Number 3, banana peels. Banana peels contain 42 milligrams of potassium each, plus phosphorus and magnesium, the exact nutrients that make plants produce more flowers and bigger fruits. And potassium is the K in NPK fertilizer, the expensive one that sells for $18 per bag. But composting banana peels the normal way takes 6 months before nutrients become available. There's a faster method that makes them work in just 2 weeks. Here's how. Chop banana peels into small 1-inch pieces with scissors or knife. Dig a shallow trench 3 to 4 inches deep around your flowering plants, keeping it 6 inches away from the main stem. Drop the chopped peels into the trench. Cover immediately with soil to prevent fruit, flies, and other pests. The peels will decompose underground within 2 to 3 weeks, releasing potassium and phosphorus directly into the root zone, where plants can absorb them immediately. And because they're buried, you avoid the smell and pest problems that surface. Composting creates. Use this method on roses, tomatoes, peppers, squash, and any plant you want to flower and fruit heavily. Or make banana peel tea by soaking 3 to 4 chopped peels in a gallon of water for 48 hours, then using the liquid as a fertilizer. 1 banana per day for a year equals $25 worth of potassium fertilizer you're currently throwing away. These first 3 items, coffee grounds, eggshells, and banana peels, give you the 3 essential nutrients plants need. Most: nitrogen for green growth, calcium for strong cells, and potassium for flowers and fruits, which means you already have a complete fertilizer system in your kitchen. You don't need to buy anything. You just need to stop throwing away what you already have. But there are 2 more waste items that are even more powerful. Number 4, vegetable scraps. The ends, peels, and trimmings you cut off. Vegetables contain the same nutrients as the parts you eat, and there's a technique called trench composting that turns these scraps into plant food in just 3 to 4 weeks, faster than any compost pile. Here's why this works. When you compost in a pile, only the outer layer touches soil, organisms. But when you compost underground, every piece of waste is surrounded by bacteria, fungi, and earthworms that break it down simultaneously from all sides. Here's the method. Dig a trench 8 inches deep and as long as you need, right between your garden rows or in an area you'll plant next month. Fill the trench with kitchen scraps, vegetable peels, fruit cores, wilted lettuce, herb stems, anything plant-based except meat, dairy, or oils which attract pests. Cover the scraps immediately with at least 4 inches of soil. The soil layer prevents odors, keeps pests away, and traps moisture that speeds decomposition. Then plant your next crop directly over the buried scraps or let them break down for 3 to 4 weeks before planting. And here's what makes this technique revolutionary. As scraps decompose, they create air pockets that improve soil structure and drainage. They release nutrients directly into the root zone instead of at the surface where rain washes them away. And they feed earthworms that tunnel through your soil, creating more pathways for roots to grow. A family of 4 produces 200 pounds of vegetable scraps per year. That's $40 worth of fertilizer, and the trench composting method makes it available to plants in a fraction of the time. Number 5, grass clippings. Fresh grass clippings are 4% nitrogen by weight, making them one of the richest free nitrogen sources you can find. And most people either bag them up and send them to the landfill or pay someone to haul them away while spending money on nitrogen fertilizer at the same time. But grass clippings are tricky. Use them wrong and they'll create a slimy, smelly mat that suffocates plants. Use them right, and they're liquid gold. Here's what you need to know. Only use clippings from lawns that haven't been treated with herbicides, because those chemicals persist for weeks and will damage or kill your vegetables. Always check before you take clippings from neighbors or parks. Spread fresh grass clippings in a thin layer, never more than 1 to 2 inches thick. If you go thicker, they'll mat together into a waterproof barrier that prevents rain from reaching the soil, and they'll start to ferment and smell. Apply them around vegetables as a living mulch that feeds the soil as it breaks down. Or add grass clippings to your compost pile mixed with brown materials at a ratio of 1 part grass to 2 parts dried leaves or shredded cardboard. This creates the perfect carbon to nitrogen balance that heats up your compost pile and produces finished compost in 6 to 8 weeks instead of 6. months, and grass clippings decompose fast. Within 2 to 3 weeks, they break down completely and release nitrogen exactly when fast-growing. Vegetables need it most during their peak growth period. One season of grass clippings from a 1,000 square foot lawn provides all the nitrogen a 400 square foot garden needs. That's $60 worth of nitrogen fertilizer most people throw away. These 5 items represent everything your garden needs: coffee ground for nitrogen, eggshells for calcium, banana peels for potassium, vegetable scraps for complete nutrition, and grass clippings for fast nitrogen. And together, they replace $200 worth of commercial fertilizers every single year. But the real value isn't just the money you save. It's understanding that industrial agriculture has convinced us we need to buy inputs to grow food when nature has been growing food for millions of years using nothing but what's already there. Your kitchen waste isn't garbage. It's the raw materials for living soil that feeds itself year after year without any purchased inputs. And once you understand this principle, you stop being dependent on garden centers and start being self-sufficient. The gardeners who succeed long-term are the ones who realize that fertility isn't something you buy. It's something you create from what you already have. Stop throwing away free fertilizer. Start building soil that grows better vegetables every year and join the hidden harvest that's been available to you all along.